Well, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Iori Folarin. Hope we meet you well. Well, our guest this morning is Honorable Segun Olulade, political and policy analyst. He's a former member of the Lagos State House of Assembly. A fine morning to you, Honorable. Okay.
Quite a long time.
Indeed, it's been quite a while. And I see that you're highly mobile. You're joining us from Abuja this morning, out of Lagos, your home base. Okay, then.
Yes.
So, there's been, today is the first of the month. The first of, no, it isn't. I'm getting ahead of myself. The last day of the month. The last day of the month. And this is the eve of the protest that everybody has been speaking about. Of course, entities are continuing to see how, by all means, if you do want to do so, you can protest so far as you restrict yourself to certain standard international norms. Peaceful, focused, and all of that kind of a thing. What's your sense? Because we can go over all the reasons again why those who say that they do understand that there is a hardship, but that at the same time they have been counseling them, that is those who are so interested, to reconsider and perhaps not protest. 10 days? They say from the 1st to the 10th. And people have been sort of trying to explain that that's a monumental issue. You can't shut down the country for 10 days. To what avail? But do you get the sense that things are changing and that they might reconsider? That's what everybody has been saying. Please reconsider.
Yes. Good morning once again. Good morning, Nigerians. I will want to say categorically that peaceful protests is a constitutional right of every Nigerian and everybody worldwide. But there must be a motive behind every protest. First of all, we look at what is the terminologies that are being used for this particular protest. 1, end bad governance. 2, take back our movement. When you start hearing such words and considering the fact that the security agencies, intelligence provided has clearly shown that we have international influence, foreign mercenaries are being engaged. Nigerians are divided via tribe and religion. In the past, when protests are being done, peaceful protests are being done, we have seen that we have leaders who will come out to say, I am leading this protest. The likes of Wole Soyinka, the likes of Gani Fayemi, the likes of even of Mr. President.
And the likes of the Nigeria Labour Congress, for example.
Nigeria Labour Congress. They all come out to say, we are leading this protest. So somebody is responsible. Somebody, and the police have never shied away from the fact that they now have the responsibility of protecting the protesters. And until you now start seeing political interference in every protest, once there is a political interference, it won't end well.
Sorry, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah. This is another one of the sort of topics that people are speaking about in looking at this protest and saying that it's not going to, it doesn't seem that they can be successful for the reasons that you have stated, but those are not the exclusive reasons. People are also saying that politics has entered into it, ethnicity horribly has also entered into it. And all of these are things that we don't want. I think it's been said, I don't know, to paraphrase President Tinubu, do things that sort of unite us exceed those that divide us. But you began to see where people are being typecast. Certain segments are being typecast into certain areas, and you see evidence of them saying that we are not there, we're not there. I was just looking at the paper this morning. One of the headlines in The Guardian is that Ohaneze Ndigbo faction knocks Obi over endorsement of protest, saying that we are not protesting, mourning our leaders passing. Now, you begin to hear divergent voices. You see on social media divergent voices, and quite frankly, it is becoming a bit more, it's like the knots is getting more and more entangled, and you can't easily undo it and say that, as you pointed out, this is what we are talking about. None of this, Honorable, none of the situations that are being protested about and that nobody is denying, nobody is saying there is no hardship, nobody is saying that things are not really, really tight. But then people are pointing out that, one, it's a global phenomenon. None of this was really concerned, yes. None of this was really brought about by the administration in power as we speak. But people should think about those. But those are the things that are being glossed over. I don't even think people know what they're going to do. Let's say, for the sake of argument, if they say, go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Protest. Go anywhere you want. Okay, let's say, God forbid, and it won't happen. Let's say you even got to a situation where you have what you want. You have taken over, in quotes. So what next? What are you going to do? People don't think that people have thought those things out. Yes, sir.
We don't need any soothsayer to tell us what is going to happen with these particular protests. Nobody can tell us that you are talking about hunger. Hunger is a global citizen.
It is. It is.
When you talk about hardship, go to UK today, go to America, go
Canada,
to Canada,
France.
Go to France, go to Germany. Everywhere in the world, everybody is crying hardship, hardship, hardship. So it's a global citizen. When you talk about hunger, what are we doing as youth? I think the Nigerian youth should wake up. What are we doing as youth to contribute, to add value to the country?
Yes, sir.
In terms of agricultural products, majority of everybody, once they finish their secondary school, they move from their community, they come to Lagos, or they move to Abuja, or they move to Kaduna, or they move to Enugu. Those are the places that you see them moving to. They don't stay in their local areas, or Port Harcourt. They don't stay in their local areas where they could add value in farming. And we are talking about hunger, where nobody is going to the farms any longer. Before now, we have seen some segment of the country that they believe that strike or protest is anti their religion. We have seen that in this same country, before now, there have been issues of Fulani herdsmen. There have been issues of Boko Haram, insecurity in town. But gradually, those things are fading away. That shows you something.
It does.
That the people who are involved in all those things are more of politics than you can. Not most of it are not that of the economy.
Indeed.
But it's because of the politics. And when you look at it critically, when we talk about the people talk about the removal, and when you look at what they are even requesting for this particular bad government protest they are talking about removal of fuel subsidy. How come hunger? What does hunger have to do with, if not some people who have been benefiting from fuel subsidy are behind these things?
Okay, but Honorable, in addition to what you're saying, sorry, sir, for jumping in, sir. I know I'm so, the point is also made that people don't seem to, that is maybe the young people out there exercising their rights, to speech, to freedom of speech, freedom of expression. They don't seem to understand some of the parameters, namely that you can't carry every part of your frustration. And all of us are frustrated, to use that word, by the conditions that we find ourselves in. You can't take all of it and lay it at the president's doorstep. How about the states? How about the governors? How about the local councils, local government councils? How about those chairmen? But everybody is taking everything and putting it in front of the president and saying that we no go giri, we no go giri. I mean, when I say everybody, you know, innocently uninformed. Innocently uninformed because they just reach for the who is the highest officer. Let's go to that where. Let's go to that place. The point has often been made that the federal government is doing all that it can. It can still do more, and nobody is saying that it has done enough. Let it still do more for the avoidance of doubt. This is not a whitewash kind of a campaign. Can everybody concerned do more? By all means, they can still do more. But in the meantime, it's an error to think of the presidency as the sole bus stop for all of these protests. Not that I am redirecting protests anywhere, but we don't speak enough about the governors. You know.
You are just hitting the nail on the head. You were talking about governors. You were talking about local government chairmen, councillors.
That's right.
Representatives.
That's right.
In different stratas. Let me be clear with you. Those who are targeting Lagos, those who are targeting Abuja, they all have their representatives. They have people they voted for in their respective areas. Some of them left their villages to come and protest in Abuja or to go and protest in Lagos. Now, what question are they asking those representatives? Since the removal of fuel subsidy by Mr. President, which I also want to re-emphasize, the fact that every one of the candidates of different political parties that campaign to Nigerians also emphasize the fact that they are going to remove fuel subsidy. Obi make it clear to everybody that it will not take him a whole day before he removes fuel subsidy. Now, they are coming up with another narrative. And these are the same people that are saying they want to take back. Take back what? Take back what? The mandate has been given to Mr. President. The man has just spent 1 year in office. We should allow the man to continue to provide us with policies that they have started delivering.
Indeed.
On.
Honorable, again, let me beg your pardon. Let me get your pardon. Yeah. Let me beg your pardon to interrupt you. I agree with you entirely. But I think we can also spend some time on the point that, look, President Tinubu has proven that he's a listening kind of guy. He listens.
Thank you.
He listens and, you know, he responds. Now, some things have indeed been done. Are they enough? Nobody will say that they are in any protesting situation. Oliver Twist always wants some more. But the point is, things are being addressed. And somehow in the narrative, none of this is getting the airplay that it deserves. And this is where people begin to say, is there more to this than all? People are saying, for instance, you know, that, okay, now you're telling us rice is going to cost 40,000 naira because hunger, we can't afford food, is among those things. Food for the very...
Uncle Yori,
yes, sir.
Uncle Yori, let us be clear with ourselves.
Before you go, continue, sir. I'm being told that, okay, George has called in. Let's take our friend George, and then we'll continue. Good morning to you, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning.
To Honorable Olulade.
Yes.
Good morning, sir. Uncle Yori, the planners of this so-called protest, they have tagged it protest against bad governance. I want to ask the following questions. What is bad governance? Is it granting the local government autonomy so that governors can go to the nooks and crannies of Nigeria? Is that the bad governance? Is it the removal of fuel subsidy? that became a scam and a retrogressive economic thing that brought our economy to the doldrums? Is it the granting of student loans to students whose parents don't have much money to sponsor them to universities? Is that the bad governance? Is it the harmonization of foreign exchange, where some people were being given 50% discount on the exchange rate? They will collect the dollar and go and sell it at the black market rate and become billionaires overnight. Is that the bad governance? Is it the empowerment of empowerment programs aimed at people who are poor to start their nano businesses and all the rest? Is it the minimum wage that has been increased? And is it the more money that is now going to state governors for them to do their work in their states? Are these the things they are calling bad governance?
Well,
let's call a spade a spade. What is happening is that those who lost elections, they tried to use religion, it didn't work. They used ethnicity, it didn't work. They used violence, it didn't work. They went to Supreme Court to the extent of threatening Supreme Court judges, it didn't work. Governance is now going on, and they want to plan a coup.
All right.
What baffles me in all of this, Uncle Yori, is why the security agencies who know these people are silent about them without doing anything. I think the government is too lenient on criminals.
All right, Mr. George. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Because of time, thank you very much, Mr. George, especially for, reeling out those instances, underlining what we were just talking about the listening attitude of this government and headed up by President Tinubu. All of these things are being done. I hasten to add, sir, that one does not mean by any of this that there still is no room for even more. President Tinubu himself has said as much, that they continue to work. But to not mention any of the things that Mr. George just brought about, and you talk about bad governance, and then you tag the protest, something bad governance. Hardship is another thing, and there is hardship. Nobody's denying that, not even the president. But what is the purpose of this protest when what you normally want with a protest is to catch the attention of the administration? They say you have our attention, you have it, and you will continue to have it, and we are working on it. Please, sir.
Uncle Yori, let me start by commending TVC for giving Nigerians this platform to call in for programs like this. We have seen some of your media houses that have their own hidden agenda, propagating those agendas. Because they do not want feedbacks, they will not allow a phone-in program. And I want to commend TVC for doing that. We have about 3 of your programs or 4 that are phone-in programs that Nigerians can express themselves. So I must commend TVC for this. Now, talking about listening leader, we have never seen a leader like Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in this country who is always responding to the cries of Nigerians. Whenever there is any opinion that is put forward and is considered such an opinion as a superior opinion to his, he quickly amends and adjusts. And that is what leadership is all about. But unfortunately, we have seen several people who we all know that because they lost the election, they have decided to do everything within their reach to destabilize this government. Those who are no more enjoying the fuel subsidy, they are the ones crying wolves today. Those who are no more enjoying the floating of naira are also the one crying wolf today. Those who do not enjoy all the corrupt practices they were doing before now are the one who are now talking about taking over. Taking over what?
And this is the problem. That's a very germane question. Taking over what? Taking over where?
What do you want to take over?
The government has said that, look, whereas it is our right to protest, they're not going to sit by and let anybody cause problems for, other members of society who do not see it your way and are not part of your protest. Peter in Magodo, good morning, sir.
I really thank you for this, your program, and also I just want to lend my voice in this matter. In as much as I praise Ashwaju for his leadership role in Nigeria, though sometimes I wonder why we don't talk about the good things he has started and the good things that he has been doing. So, but sometimes also I also look at the realities on ground. Me those days I don't normally go to the market to buy them, but when I started going to the market to, sample things, I like the other day I bought Indomie. Carton of Indomie I used to buy 7.5. I bought it for 13,000. Then beans, the Oloye beans I used to buy for 3.5. I bought it for 12,000. These are practical things I'm seeing with Kurukuru. So I now felt, well, these things now have to these things that though the president has made a mistake, by removing those questions, which every other candidate would have done. Okay, should we crucify him for doing this? No. The only thing is, how can we help him to do this? Because he didn't do it out of wickedness or out of selfishness or anything. He did it because Nigeria was going down. There was no way we could have succeeded in that fresh subsidy going forward. Everybody knew it. Labour was continuing asking for more. Everybody asking for more. Asking for more. This man, looking at him, I know him. I'm an Igbo man. I know him personally. I show him someone that he doesn't discriminate. Racism is not in his blood. He asking where you're from. He helps you whether you're Igbo or Hausa or but the only thing is, how can we move Nigeria forward?
Yes.
In the issue of protest, I'm not against this protest. The only thing is, if you look at what happened in NSAS, my brother, you will shed tears. Why Sowolu is trying to protect Lagos is not he's official. He doesn't want to protest this. I know how much one BRC bus costs. If you know the amount one BRC bus costs, you said you will shed tears. The Lagos State government is even doing it. They are trying. Look at the rail. I'm an Igbo man saying this. I'm not. If somebody does something wrong, I will say it won't kill me. If Sowolu does something wrong, I will say highest I will die. Look at we should even learn with you. Look at today. If Aliba is dead, Aliwana is dead. We should learn from all these things. The Lagos government, for me, they are doing well. We are here striving. They allow people to stay here and we are making money. They don't put I say that's one of the things I look at them. I learn from them. What is the issue of what the government said we should restrain? We should think about this thing also. To look at what if innocent people die in this thing now. Everybody say no, I must protest. I look at all those things. That's why I say government are not to say they shouldn't protest.
Yes.
But because of the tension in the country, can't we say, okay, let's go back and say, okay, this is what the things we want the government to do. Then we all live in peace. No government is wicked to see that the citizens are dying in hunger. They know all these things. That's my own intake.
I want to thank you very much, Paul, for calling in from Magodo there. Everybody is aware that, look, the single biggest factor in the situation, the harshness, the harsh economic climate we find ourselves in, is the removal of the subsidy on fuel. In fact, there's a sense in, but people are also being reminded that there was no provision for the continuation of subsidy beyond 1 month. Beyond 1 month. Now, whether President Tinubu was hasty on the very day of his inauguration, that very minute, people will know the shock all of us felt when he said, fuel subsidy, it's gone. Now, I thought this was a manner of speaking, and that it's gone means that we'll forget about that, so that within 1 month we would know. But I don't know how the market took hold of that expression, fuel subsidy, it's gone, and took that as an official stamped, signed, and delivered document, and within minutes, pump prices changed and all of that. I don't know if there was a mistake in there somewhere, but having said that, one has to also remember that there was no provision for fuel subsidy beyond 1 month after, his taking of office.
Well, let me also lend my voice on that. The issue of fuel subsidy is a clear-cut issue. I was a lawmaker, and I understand when budget matters is being raised. And once you have done your budget, and the budget says that there won't be fuel subsidy from June, and the man comes in May, and there is nothing like no provision for fuel subsidy from from July.
Yes, from July.
Then, from July, and you expect the man to say otherwise, then if we are sincere as Nigerians, if we are so patriotic about being a sincere person, we all know that if Mr. President comes into office one day, those people will want to do whatever thing they like to ensure that the fuel subsidy continues.
Okay, okay. I get what you're saying, Honorable. I get you. But
yes.
So that was President Tinubu's way.
When you look at, yes, so when you see a president that understands the terrain, and understand what governance is all about, it's unfortunate they like the kind of education we are giving our youth these days. Most of them, when you listen to them, even about governance, about who is responsible for what, they don't understand.
Indeed.
And
I have heard people on...
You're right, sir.
You're right, sir. I have heard people... Sorry to interrupt you. So you're very right that they don't understand what's going on, because one has seen and heard youths on social media saying, I don't care. We just have to protest. But in the meantime, let me bring in John. Good morning, John. John, are you there?
Very well, very well.
Good morning, sir.
I'm with you.
Go ahead.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Uncle Yori, we are in a country whereby we love to depreciate ourselves and our values. Let me start by saying that credit must be given to Tinubu, President Tinubu, for three things. I will give him credit for 2 out of the 3. The first one, no president has been able to come out boldly and attack the fraudulent fuel subsidy, and this man boldly removed it. If that man had waited a day after that, or on that podium, after the swearing, he won't be able to change it again.
Okay.
Let me give you this analogy, please. Spare me just 2 minutes. The agencies, some people will say, why don't you go after those people who are stealing the money from subsidy? The agencies that are supposed to give the documents, are they not the ones antagonizing Dangote when they sense that it's trying to make success? KPMG cannot do anything without documents. Do you want to tell me that NNPC will supply documents for anybody to succeed and cripple fuel subsidy? We should think deeply, please. Politics has gone, election has gone, and if you look at the issue of Nigeria, what is it called? Local government. When Tinubu created additional local government in Lagos, that's why all this expansion we are seeing. People were feeling direct impact of what government is doing, either at the state or federal level. This very important step this man has taken, no previous government has been able, and I repeat, but this man attacked it boldly and make sure that he caught all those atrocities. Number 3, that I pray Mr. President will do is deterrence. Deterrence. There is need to punish people like that man, what is it called? Downstream, whatever. I see no reason why that man should not be sanctioned as of today. We need to have deterrence in this country. Sir, concerning the protest, we have freedom to protest, but where your rights of national security take prominence.
Indeed. Indeed. Indeed.
National security take prominence. So the president should engage the people, but this protest are of politics underneath.
Indeed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And as we say, as has been told us, the Minister of Information, following the Federal Executive Council meeting, has opined that there is no need for this protest anymore. All the things that could be derived from a protest are already in place and are continuing to be added to. Honorable Olulade, let me take a break, be right back, and then come back to you, sir. Stay with us, please. Okay, welcome back. Our guest is Honorable Segun Olulade, and we're still focusing on the protest against hardships in the land that has been tagged protest against bad governance, whatever that means. And the presidency has striven through it all to continue to act in a democratic manner. Because people are reminding the presidency, and I'm sure it is not lost on the president himself, that he himself has been a Democrat. And there are aspects of democracy that do call upon the mechanism of protest. But everything has the rules of engagement. So the president himself, admirably, has been one of the first to say that it is a constitutional right. People have a right to protest. And then they go ahead to explain that, however, as in all societies, there are, rules of engagement. National leaders, take the election that has been referred to this morning. Peter Obi, presidential candidate of LP, has endorsed the protest. Ohaneze, a section of Ohaneze, has come out to say that, that's not what we agreed. And in any case, this is not the right time. Atiku Abubakar, who was also in that election, he was a presidential candidate, has also, endorsed this movement, this whole, what is it now? I struggle to find what to. Yes, that particular protest.
Tried to endorse riots.
Yes, well, he didn't go as far as endorsing riot, but just being a national leader and then adding your voice in a yay to the whole notion of going out there. Atiku Abubakar also did it. The Arewa Consultative Forum has said that that is not our understanding. This is not the time to be protesting. So it just goes to, this is why, most unfortunately, people are now beginning to suggest that there are political motives. Nobody wants to compromise the right of every Nigerian, every single Nigerian to protest, to have freedom of speech. But I guess what that doesn't include is the right to disrupt orderly society. It doesn't include that. And the government has said that it won't let that happen.
That is clear, and that is the responsibility of the Nigerian government to provide security for lives and properties. And they must, and the welfare of Nigerians. And they must do that dutifully. One, when we talk about people who are encouraging these protests, they know their motives. They know, because what do you want to achieve with a protest that already the government has taken up the initiatives of addressing most of the things you are raising? When you talk about hunger, there is provision for food is ongoing, which cannot be completed even in 1,000 years to this time. We will continue to provide for food. When you talk about CNG for transportation, you talk about oil. You talk about oil. You see what Mr. President just did yesterday or day before yesterday when he signed that crude oil must be given to all private-owned refinery and will be sold to them in Naira.
Indeed.
And you look at everything that everybody is talking about, you see a reasonable approach to it by Mr. President and the government of Mr. President.
Like showing an understanding of the issues
and
involved.
Identifying with the people.
Indeed. One moment, please. One moment, sir. Let me bring in Kemi, who has called in from Ikotun. Good morning, Kemi. I hope we haven't lost Kemi in Ikotun.
Are you with me?
Okay, now we can hear you now. Go ahead, please.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I want to contribute to what is on ground concerning the planned protest.
Sure.
Actually, I want to speak in a layman's language. If we look at this planned protest, it is not what should be happening in the country now. The youth should focus on one thing. Let us appreciate the president we have now. To me, President Tinubu has done his best in this country. Everything, like the Honorable said, everything they asked for has been provided. So what else do they want? I can tell you 100% sure that this protest is not just what we are seeing. There are a lot of people behind it that want to hijack it. A lot of cabals that just want to spoil the president's tenure. When the president was the governor of Lagos State, he did a lot that credited him to where he is today. When I was in school then in Lagos State University last week, I was watching to meet the president then. He is a man that has time to listen to everybody. I was a student. I went there to meet him to cry for the school fees. And I paid my school fees for the whole term I was spending last week. I was opportunity to meet him. Once he immediately heard we are students looking for him, he asked us to bring us in. What do you want students? We said we have not paid our school fees. He said, oh, okay, he paid our school fees. So this man, let us give him a chance. I cannot say it's just a personal interest of other people. Nigeria, you should wake up. Let us wake up. This is not what we think it will be. Look at the NSAS as a common process that was hijacked. What about this? Please, I want to say, let the youth keep calm. This process should be called off. Let us sit down, do our own homework. We are youth today. Tomorrow we'll be there. Let us support our president and let things work out for our country, Nigeria.
Thank you.
That's what I want to say, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Kemi, for calling in. So the president continues to demonstrate that he understands the issues and acknowledges them.
Well, thank you, Kemi, for that your wonderful comment. And I also want to say this, that we have a president that have a listening here that always listens to superior opinions and addresses accordingly. We have seen several things that this man have done within 1 year. The student loan that he provided now, a lot of students are taking advantage of it. That is a plus. When you talk about the minimum wage, the fastest addressed minimum wage in the history of this country. Nigerian Labour Congress, they protested, but we know who is protesting. Nobody is saying they should not protest. But before 2023, well, before the SARS protests, there was no tribal war as is going on now. If you go on social media, you will see some segment of the country attacking another segment. We have brought in a lot of tribal issue into this matter of this protest. And you also agree with me that religion is also have crept into it. And before you say, I saw some traditional religious leaders going out telling people that don't come out and protest. Well, it might not be the proper way or that anybody can think of, but that shows you that there is religious interference in this particular protest.
Indeed.
So if we now have all those things, those are the two critical areas that could lead to anything. So
your primary thrust, Honorable, is advising against the continuation of the protest as is being muted. Is that's your thrust? That people should not do it.
Every patriotic Nigerian, every reasonable Nigerian, every reasonable youth should know by now that the protest is no more a thing for them to adopt. Now, whatever thing you want to say, I must commend those who started the protest, who genuinely wanted to have a peaceful protest. That protest they were planning for have yielded a lot of results. Anything beyond this now, it is political, it is anti-people, it is a aim to disrupt, destroy, kill, and ensure that this government does not last. That is why you hear hand, and that's why you are hearing they thought they have a mandate. That's why they are hearing we want to take back. Take back what?
There's nothing to take back.
Must ask ourselves.
And
every reasonable Nigerians must know that there is a more political influence in this particular protest than the House can meet. And we have also seen the security agencies with intelligence, report saying that we have mercenary already been imported. Just before this announcement of this protest, we are aware that in Lagos, there was a container load of ammunition that was seized by customs. That shows you who brought in those containers.
What kind of a coincidence is that? So
yes,
something smells very, very badly.
And you can see the man in Finland. You can see his utterances. And when you go to, especially in X or TikTok, and you listen to what these people are saying, you will know that what they are planning is beyond what anybody can have convince me about, that it will not lead to riot tomorrow.
And that is the one thing
and that is why
that Nigeria wants to
prevent.
That
is why I am putting it on every security agent in Nigeria today, that anybody that you see outside tomorrow trying to foment trouble, stopping people from going to work, stopping people from doing their legitimate business, such an individual should be arrested and to face the wrath of the land.
Okay, well, as you say, one just hopes. Honorable, I hear what you're saying, and then I'm sure the police are really up to their task, up to their duty. But the emphasis from civil society, I imagine, is that, as you've just said, let everybody enjoy their right to the Constitution. There are those who are quoting that right and saying that they must protest. And then there are also those who are saying, as you are saying, that, excuse me, there is nothing to protest about. I'm not saying that there are no difficulties, but how is this protest going to get us more than we have at the moment, which is the full attention of government, traditional rulership, and all interested parties? That's what you want, and that's what we have. But you still are going ahead and saying we want to protest. Come on, it's not. Yes, sir.
These same people that we are talking about bad government, they were not talking about bad citizens. They are not protesting against bad citizens. Those who are bringing in fake parts into Nigeria, those who are bringing in hard drugs into this country, they were not protesting against them. Those who are doing Yahoo, they were not protesting against them. The government that is doing well within 1 year is the one that they want to protest against.
Yeah.
There is something fishy.
Indeed. That's the way a lot of people feel.
They were not protesting against all the ritualists in the country.
Yeah.
Now, they were not saying no to ritualists.
Indeed.
They were not saying no to those who are bringing in fake drugs, fake materials into the country. They were not saying no to it. But they can say no for a government that is just 1 year in government. There is something behind this.
Exactly.
And we must not take it lightly. Every Nigerian must be ready to stand up for this country. Nigeria belongs to all of us. If you want to protest, protest peacefully. And you do not infringe my own right to perform my own civic duty. Indeed. As a Nigerian.
Indeed.
Do not stop me from going to my work. Do not go to the airport to block the airport. Do not go to the hospitals for those who are going to go to, because you want to eat more hardship to the land.
Exactly.
That is the essence of this protest.
And it's exactly. Thank you very much, Honorable Lulade, for bringing up all those aspects to it. So the emphasis still is on democracy and constitutionally guaranteed rights. But where Nigerians seem to be shining their eyes and understanding what is going on, is that, look, this is not a protest anymore. This has other connotations, and it's a very, very unfortunate thing. So we, on the program, we would never, of course, be interested in stoking strife and that kind of a thing. But people have said that it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
During the SARS protest.
Sorry, sir. Kesandu has called in. Let me not lose him.
Okay.
You're coming. Okay. Kesandu, good morning to you, sir. Oh, Kesandu isn't there. Do we have a difficulty connecting with him?
No, but I can hear you, sir, loud and clear.
Please go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, sir. Please, sir, you see, the way we are talking about this is as if we are not Nigerians. Aside the ruling class, no Nigerian is comfortable with the current situation of the country. That is the truth. And let me also say this. Protest. Is this not the normal civil right of citizens? It is. I think what the government owes the people is just help us to organize ourselves as we protest. Let me tell you, sir, if these people are comfortable...
Can you guarantee, sir, I beg your pardon, I usually don't do it, I don't interrupt it. Can you guarantee that it will not degenerate at any stage is the whole problem? looking at very Nigerian history. And that's the only interruption.
It won't. If only and only
you can guarantee that.
Agencies are, if only and only if the security agencies are also sincere about it. Let me say, for instance, that we want to protest in a way, and the police and civil defense are guiding us as we march along the streets. Who will infiltrate us? That's the truth. So I think that the government shows us the responsibility of taking care of us as we do this protest. It is for us. See, nobody is more Nigerian than another. And at this point of our lives, I think we all need to be responsible at this point. Government should show responsibility. We, the citizens, we are ready to also show responsibility because we want to go ahead and do this thing and tell the people and tell the government that we are not really happy. It is not like we are against anybody. No.
Okay, Kesandu. I get you. Thank you very much for calling in. And one has registered what you have said, that it's a right that you would like to insist upon. Okay, you have been heard.
Sandu, if I may respond to what you have just said now. You said that it is your right to protest. Nobody is denying that fact. That is not your right to protest. You are free to protest. When you protest, what is the aim of protest? I have participated in protests since 1992 till date. And I know the reason and the purpose and what we want to achieve. You people should tell us what you want to achieve with this protest that have not been addressed, that the government have not listened to you, that they have not heard you. If you are saying you should protest, fine, go ahead and protest, but make it peaceful. That is what we are talking about.
Okay, and Honorable, let me add, I beg your pardon for interrupting you. Let me add that the government has also ordered the police to provide protesters with protection. So it is not saying don't protest. Indeed, protection has been sought for the protesters.
Supplied. So nobody is saying that.
There is no part of government that is saying don't protest or it isn't your right or don't use your right. It's just that government is also emphasizing with as much clarity that it will not stand by and let anything degenerate into anarchy. If it is a peaceful protest, you are protected.
No problem.
Go ahead. In fact, there's been a list of convergent points for rallies. They've even gone as far as that.
During 2012, we converged at Ganifa Garden in park in Ojota. Everybody knows the venue to go to. Now they know who is even leading those protests.
Yes.
Who is leading these protests?
Well,
you cannot have an invisible protester and you continue to say, yes, you want to protest, without having somebody who's going to take responsibility for whatever thing that happens during the protest.
Okay, well, enough said, Honorable. We've run out of time. I really do crave your indulgence, Honorable. I know it's an impassioned subject matter, but we've run out of time. And what we've said essentially is that from the president, he has, underlined the rights of protesters to indeed protest. So far as it is peaceful, so far as it doesn't threaten in any way, shape, or form the security architecture of the country, by all means, go right there ahead. But they are also appealing that, however, there is no need for this protest if it is to get the attention of the administration.
Of the president.
Of the president. That attention has already been got. And it is being engaged with.
Whatever thing they want to achieve with the protests.
Exactly.
Every reasonable protest, peaceful protest, have been achieved with this protest.
So let's leave it there.
People are not starting any protest.
Exactly.
So whosoever is going out tomorrow, you know that if you are going out peacefully.
Exactly.
And once there is any issue of anarchy or riot,
the police are there. They won't stand for it. We've got to leave it there for now. I'm sure we'll continue. Yes. We'll continue to look at this situation over time because it has been slated for the 1st to the 10th. We'll see how all of that goes. Perhaps reason might prevail, and we won't need to go through any of all of that. But that remains to be seen. Thank you very much, Honorable Segun Olulade, former member of the Lagos State House of Assembly. Appreciate your time as always. Okay, so that's our program today.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Iyori Folare. Bye-bye for now.